Hello, I'm Nathan.
And I'm Jody, and this is Word on the Web.
And the question that we have today takes us to Word on the Street, this amazing paper of ours. And so we've invited Nikki, who is the director of Project Wellbeing, to tell us a little bit about the history of the paper.
How did this get started?
Okay, so my name's Nikki, and I'm the director of Project Wellbeing. Project Wellbeing is our mental health program. And we started the program, I think we're going on 7 years. But during that first year, the guests were writing poems, and they were just talking about the program. And I'm like, you know what? Everybody needs to know about this new program. And so I had the guests start writing a newsletter. And so in the newsletter was just kind of like an explanation of what we're doing in programming. The guests were writing poems, they were writing their stories, and then I took the newsletter to Jody.
And she brought me this newsletter that she's like, hey, Project Wellbeing decided that they wanted to kind of write about what they're doing to let the people in the community know about what's available to them as well. And I sat down and I read it, and it was just incredible. It was like real raw writing and art and poetry, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. So without even talking to Nikki, I called over to Idaho Press. Scott McIntosh was actually their editor at that time.
Okay.
And I said, hey, there's this program we have, and they're doing this newsletter. And I'd been watching these street sheets, which are newspapers that are throughout the country, where vendors can sell papers who are experiencing homelessness to make income.
Okay.
And it also focuses a lot on what's happening within unhoused populations. And I'm like, wonder if we could turn this into a paper and like do a vendor program. So I asked
Why
Scott.
not?
Why wouldn't you? I know.
So many stories to be told.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Scott was super intrigued. He loved the idea, and he came to Project Wellbeing. And Nikki had this whiteboard, and Jacob Kaufman was there. He was one of our first participants in the program. He was great, and he was kind of the leader of the pack when it came to writing. And Scott basically taught us how to create a newspaper.
Okay.
He did like an entire layout. He showed us that you need to have
Right,
a
because it's
masthead.
pretty technical, what it takes to.
And what he said is that you kind of want consistency. Like you want to create like columns, and so like you know what content you need each month. And so basically he helped us to create this first newspaper.
Yep.
And Idaho Press, we then at that time paid them to print 600 copies of the paper. And the idea was,
Well, so we had the 600 copies, and we were taking them to downtown areas. So I would load up the van with the Project Wellbeing guests, with the Word on the Street writers, and we would deliver the paper. But it was only 600 at that time.
Right.
And so we were going to like coffee shops. It was kind of a fun day, though.
Yeah.
And we would take like a Friday, deliver the papers. And then I remember we went to, I think it was the gala where you announced, or Idaho Press announced.
well, that's right. So at the gala, we do an award ceremony, and for Partner of the Year, we gave it to Idaho Press for helping us create this paper. And the publisher at the time, Matt Davidson, he actually accepted the award, and then he said to the entire crowd, Idaho Press does not do the hard work. Like the stories inside this paper, they're so meaningful. And so we have decided as an organization that we are going to print 30,000 copies of your paper every month, and we're going to insert it into our Sunday delivery of our paper. And it was like,
amazing.
it was amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so now this product that is made by our guests, and content comes from partners from outside, unhoused people who aren't even utilizing our shelter, lives inside this paper, and we are on issue 57 now.
Crazy.
I know.
That's a lot of words, a lot of
Yes.
writing.
Yeah.
And it's such a amazing platform that I didn't really have you don't really know what's going to happen with it, but we just kept doing it, people kept showing up, and now, I mean, we have more content. I mean, we can go.
Yeah.
It used to be that we had a hard time filling the paper.
Yeah.
But now we have so many guests that want to be a part of it, and it's just amazing, like, to see how they can heal through this writing.
That's
Yeah.
what I was just thinking is what you started with this exercise of healing.
Yes.
Of communication, of processing sort of their own lived experience, right? And having an outlet. And now it's become a piece that educates and lifts.
Yes.
The
tries to
community.
remove stigma.
Right.
It's such a piece of education. It's such a
Yeah.
gift for us. And every Tuesday at 11 o'clock, a group shows up, and it's guests that are staying at the shelter. It's people who are experiencing homelessness. They might even be camping outside or in their car, but they want to have their voices heard. And from 11 to 12 every Tuesday, it is the greatest 1 hour of topical conversations, guests reading their work.
Yeah.
Shiloh, our young adult who
Yeah.
reads his poetry. It's such a connection.
A moment of expression and of healing for
Yeah.
them
Yeah.
that continues.
It's an amazing experience, and I'm like so grateful that I get to be a part of it, because nowhere else have I seen such connection.
Yeah.
And to have the opportunity to allow this paper for them to have their voices heard.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much stigma, and that's really what the idea of Word on the Street was, is,
Lifting their voices.
lift them up, lift their
That's
voices.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's actually incredible because it's not just the connection that we bring, but the people who are reading this paper are connecting to our guest writers.
Right.
And many of our guests, they put something in every single month, and now they have fan bases. And they are seen in a very personal way. One of our guests had written a story about old beat up Converse shoes, and a pair of new Converse shoes was delivered to the shelter for her as a gift.
Wow.
They get emails thanking them for their honesty, because they're very
it.
honest
Yeah.
about their battles, their struggles. And then something really incredible happened. Idaho Press Club, which is like the association that basically is all of the press media, TV, radio.
Right.
They have an awards banquet every year, and you can submit your work. And this year we submitted a couple of feature stories written by our writers, and then we also submitted the Word on the Street as like a periodical piece.
Right.
Nikki, would you like to tell our audience what happened?
Sure. So we won 2 awards at the Idaho Press award show.
Yeah.
So for Word on the Street, we won General Excellence in a periodical,
Yep.
which was super exciting. And then the writers, 2 of our writers won, was it period?
Serious periodical pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
2 awards
I
that
know.
night, and it was really
And
super exciting to
we
be
got
a part.
to dress up and go out
Yes.
and be together around
Yep.
the table and be among a really amazing crowd
Yeah.
of what am I,
Journalists,
journalists and
yes.
newscasters.
So people this is a real paper to them.
Yeah.
They were so
Yeah.
excited
Yeah.
to see us there. Like,
Yeah, and
they really were.
that made it special. Is
I
that
know.
everybody was like, "You're here, congratulations!"
You're
and
Word on
we're
the
like,
Street.
"We're here, we made it!"
See us.
Yes,
Yeah.
so it was
fun.
really special.
It was
really
incredible.
special. So
It was incredible.
Yeah.
Well, Nikki, you are just so brave and creative, and the connection that you bring to our guests and to this community and kind of the world. I hope you know how amazing you are. Like, you are a rare thing in today's world, and gosh, we are so lucky to have you at Interfaith Sanctuary, and our guests are so lucky.
Guests are so lucky.
you.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all lucky. But the
I
guests
feel
are-
lucky.
So-
I feel lucky that I've been put in a place that I get these opportunities, because not many. I mean, our shelter we're about solutions, and you don't find that anywhere else. And so I feel lucky that I can come up with an idea, that I can build these connections and have all the support in the world behind me. So Word on the Street is super special to me. And yeah, I'm just grateful that I get the opportunities.
Word on the
So-
Street, the paper for the people.
The paper for
There
the
you go.
people.
Well,
Yep.
Nikki, thank you so much for coming and sharing the history of Watts.
There
Thank
go.
you for having me.
All right. Thanks for joining us for this episode of Word on the Web.
If you have any questions,
Yep.
don't forget, email them at wordontheweb@interfaithsanctuary.org.